So if you've been on the internet for the past like 3 months, you've probably heard of a thing called labubus. They're these really ugly monster plush thingies that people put on their bags and stuff. They come in sets of 9, and when you buy a box of a labubu, you don't know which one you're gonna get. It's like a mystery box. This craze has swept the nation, a total phenomenon. Like when I tell you, this has never left my feed. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And this craze shares a lot of similarities to the Pokemon craze. I made a video about this a couple days ago, but the Pokemon trading card game has had a big boom since like 2020. People have been doing something called scalping, which basically means you buy up all of the stock of something and then resell it for a higher price online. Basically ruining the fun for people who actually want to have fun instead of just reselling it for money and greed. Their greed sickens me. The same thing is happening with labubus. There's these vending machines that have them in malls and stuff, and lines form at this vending machine down the mall. Like, it's insane. And they don't have a limit to how many you can buy in one sitting, so someone at the front can literally buy all of them, and that's been reported multiple times. This combined with mass unboxings, collections that line people's walls, and a rising price in these little plush toys, people have naturally been labeling it as overconsumption. Is this overconsumption, or is it just collecting? And that's the question we're going to answer today. Hello friends, welcome back to Gabeiguess, the channel where I do whatever I want, say whatever I want, and you can't stop me. And today we'll be talking about blind boxes, specifically labubus, and why these little creatures are so popular, and is it really ruining anything? Is it overconsumption? What is this craze? What is happening to our world? To start off, I think we need to backtrack. People have been buying little knickknacks and figures and plushies since like forever. There's a whole community on TikTok called Trinket Talk where people just buy little things that make them happy. Typically these things will have characters on them like Snoopy or Mickey Mouse or anime characters or Sanrio characters, but they can also just be little house items like mugs and plates and stuff. People love collecting things. There's nothing wrong with collecting things. My first video on this channel was me talking about all the things I collect, and that video I think is like 15 minutes long. So what happens when you add the idea of collecting something with a mystery and more fun gamey aspect of it? So you have this thing called gachapons, which are primarily in Japan, but there are a lot in the US as well. These kind of come in the format of like a gumball machine. You put coins in it or like little tokens or whatever you buy, and then you twist it and it comes out of a little ball, like out of a little like compartment. And usually on these gachapon machines, it shows you all the little characters you can get. This adds some fun, you know, this adds some excitement. Like you don't know which one you're gonna get. You can be with your friends and be like, oh, I want this one or I want this one, but I don't want this one. And then one of you will get the one you want and one of them will get the ones that they really don't want. And you can all laugh and it'll be a fun little memory. So when you combine the fun gamey aspect of mystery boxes and gachapons with fun little characters or cute little characters that people can engage with, naturally it's going to explode. Like I said at the beginning of this video, something similar is like Pokemon cards. In every set, there's always a card that is like super coveted. Everyone wants this card. It's the super rare card. Nowadays, it's not rare because it's cool. It's rare because it's expensive. But back in my day, back when I was a kid, rare cards would just be cards that look super duper cool and that people in my like playground would really want. So people will buy up these cards or buy up these figures or whatever to get the one that's super rare. And that like super rare element has carried on into present day with current mystery boxes. In mystery boxes nowadays, they have the 9 that you can definitely get, and then there's a secret. Now you don't even know what this secret looks like. Usually on the box of a mystery box, the secret will be grayed out or censored, or you don't really know what it looks like. So it really adds a mystery element to it. And obviously the secret is going to be more expensive than the other, so that also adds it's more expensive thing, so you're gonna make money. It's gonna be fun to be like, haha, I had the secret. So that only fuels the flames of this mystery box craze. But not to get too ahead of myself, let's backtrack a little bit more and talk about Sunny Angels. Before labubus, there were these things called Sunny Angels. They're these little babies with various outfits or poses, and they were blind boxes. Some also hung on your phone, and I remember back in like last year, you would see like every other girl that had like a Sunny Angel on their phone. It was like a whole thing. It was a huge craze. I'm sure they're still popular now, but I haven't seen them as much since labubus became a thing, which we will talk about later, the trend hopping of it all. But Sunny Angels came and went, and then there were Smiskies, and then these little green people. I actually have 2 over here. One of them is for my friend, but they're these little green people, and there's a bunch of different sets of these little green people doing different things. I love these things so much. They're so cute, and I adore them. There's also some that stick onto electronics. I have one on my laptop. There's one guy right there. See if you guys can see that. But there you go, you can see him. All of those came in blind boxes. So I didn't know I was gonna get this one. Didn't know I was gonna get this one. And that's the fun of it. I actually have videos of me pulling them. Got Smisky moving.
Well,
it's gonna
and so you got a couple years on me. Right, it's all the same. It's all the same in the 70s. I did a great job.
I love him. Smiskies, I think, are kind of the underdog of it all. I don't really see many people talking about them, which is great because when things get popular, things get more expensive, and then you can't buy them anymore. So I'm really happy that Smiskies aren't too popular because I still like them and I still want to buy some more. But those are little micro trends that people talked about, and it really got to the blind box figure collecting, showing off your collection type thing going on TikTok. Then enter Pop Mart. Pop Mart is a character-based entertainment company that sells figures, plushies, keychains, basically any little thing you can imagine that could have a character on it, they sell it with their own characters. And one of their characters are the monsters, also known as labubus. Now, Pop Mart was never super popular until about early 2024 when Lisa from the K-pop group Blackpink posted herself with a labubu keychain, and everyone was like, whoa, what is that? It's super cute. And from there, people started buying them and trying to get the secret, and now it's a whole thing. Rihanna has some, Kim Kardashian has some. It's really a global phenomenon. It's insane. Everywhere on TikTok, you see live stream unboxings, resellers, people showing off their collections, people trading, people getting into fights at opening stores, people waiting in like 10 million mile lines for a new labubu drop. The craze has gotten so bad that you can't go into a Pop Mart store and buy a labubu. That's just not possible. It's not because they're sold out. They don't allow you to walk in and just buy one. You have to pre-order one online and then go into the store and pick it up. Or you can buy one resold online for like 10 times the price. But the option of going onto the website and pre-ordering and getting one in the store is also insanely difficult. Luckily, I have the app right here on my phone. So let's open the Pop Mart app. Okay, now I want to buy a labubu. So I'm going to search and I'm just going to look up labubu. Notice how that was the most popular search term on this app. So, oh, here's one right here. Labubu X pronounce wings fortune. Oh, it's out of stock. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. I don't want that one anyway. It's super expensive. Let's go find a better one. Wow, there's so many things on this app. Here's the one I found on the website. Let's click it. And it's not available. Okay, it's out of stock. That's okay. I can just notify me when it's available. You receive a notification email when it's in stock. But can't do that either. People have reported the use of bots, like literal robots, to buy these plush pendants the second they come out. People are so desperate for these little labubus, these lafufu, these lamumu, these ladudus, that they put bots on these websites to automatically buy up all the stock, or at least one, the second they become available. So people have reported that they will get a notification that labubus are back in stock. They'll go on the website literally like seconds after they get this notification and they'll be sold out again. So it's impossible to get a labubu normally, unless you want to wait in a 10-mile line or you want to go in a reseller and buy it for like $50 when they're actually only like $25. And on the website, it's listed at $27.99, but they're actually, I think before they got popular, I think they were only like 20. So not only has Pop Mart not put limits on the vending machine so anyone can go in and buy one, not done anything to prevent the bots, but they've also upcharged the prices for these little labubus. And it's crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now we could also blame tariffs for this because Pop Mart is a company in China. So, you can kind of blame that for the upcharge in price. But still, there's been so many reports of nothing being done to prevent these people who are ruining the fun for everyone else. I'm not a labubu fan myself. I will probably never buy a labubu. I don't see the hype, but you can't shame other people for what they like, okay? And that's pretty unfortunate that people are doing this to labubus, because, I've been there with Pokemon cards, okay? There's still people, to this day, going into Walmarts and Targets with multiple people and buying up the whole stock and being like, oh, I'm following the rules, 3 per customer, but they bring like 9 people, so they buy everything. It's ridiculous. Now, you may be thinking, well, if the prices are increasing, if they're never in stock, if the lines are always miles long, and if they're not even cute, why are people still buying these? Why are people still participating in this trend? Well, I've sorted it down to 3 M's: money, maybes, and membership. Let's start with money. This is pretty self-explanatory. A good, 70% of the people buying labubus these days are resellers. People who take advantage of the trend, buy a bunch, and then resell it for $20 more than it's actually worth. And 9 times out of 10, these people will get away with this. Most people buy from resellers due to the fact that they are never in stock anywhere. So even if you're in a mall and you find a weird toy store, you're buying from a reseller. That's not Pop Mart. But you also run a risk of getting a fake one. So many people have spent $40 on labubus and they open them and they turn out to be fake. These labubus are called lafufus, which I find kind of funny. I guess the F is for fake. So that just adds another nail in the coffin to this whole thing. Next is maybes. Everyone knows about the existence of the adrenaline junkie, someone who does things for the rush, for the excitement. And that is the case for a lot of people who open these blind boxes, especially labubus. That voice in the back of your head that's like, maybe you'll get a secret, maybe you'll get the one you want, only for you to maybe not get the secret, but also just not get the one you want, get that one ugly one that you said before you opened it, I don't want this one. And all purchases are final at Pop Mart. You can't return it, so You're kind of out of luck there. But for the someone that's doing it for the maybe, they're not out of luck. They'll just go back in and buy another one. And then after they're done buying up everything and having a full collection or having all the ones they want and being left with a bunch of ones they don't want, they'll probably just go and resell it and continue the cycle. And the last one is membership, which is people who do it for the trend or for it to be a status symbol or to just be a part of something. This is probably the case for like every single person that collects labubus. Like I said earlier, it really only became super popular when they saw Lisa doing it, and then Rihanna doing it, and then Kim Kardashian doing it. That's the case for a lot of things when they trend. It's usually because a celebrity does it. Recently, I can't believe this is a real thing. Recently, Kylie Jenner, I think it was Kylie Jenner, wore a wife beater, a very normal tank top, outside in public, and everyone's like, oh my god, what is that? Meanwhile, people of color, especially black people, are like, that's something we've been wearing for like decades. Like, are you serious? Like, everyone's calling it the Kylie Jenner tank top or the Kylie Jenner white tank top or whatever. And it's just so funny how a celebrity can do something that is so normal or wear something that's so normal or put something on their thing that's so normal. And then everyone's like, oh my God. Suddenly it's cool. Not to get into a racism tangent, but who cares? Typically people of color, especially black people, who go outside wearing wife beaters or just wear wife beaters are typically like seen as aggressive just because they're wearing a wife beater. It's probably because of the media. A lot of times when an abusive or absent father figure, especially men, they always villainize black men or people of men of color, wear wife beaters, and it's just like a staple for bad men. So it's funny that when Kylie Jenner did it, it's like suddenly trendy and everyone wants to do it and they don't even acknowledge that it's just a normal wife beater. Anyway, I'm getting besides the point. That's a whole topic for a different story. But you get the point. People are buying up labubus and stuff just to have it on their bag, especially people who get a secret one. To be like, oh, look, I have this labubu, look. But a lot of times people don't even like labubus. They just do it because it's a trend and people make money off of it and they want to make themselves look special and different. But they're not even being different because everybody has a labubu. So once everybody's different, we're all the same. Oh, one of my smiskies fell. It's gotten to the point where people are making fake labubus to be special. There's this girl on TikTok who has a 24 karat like gold labubu, and she's like, this is the first ever 24 karat labubu. The way she says it kills me every time. And it's just like you watch that video and think, you know damn well in a month or two when labubus aren't popular anymore that you're gonna look at that and be like, why the fuck do I have this? 90% of the people who collect labubus, which are people who are trend hopping or resellers, are going to look at their massive closet of labubus in like 2 months and be like, wow, I really spent all that money on that. I really waited in that 20-hour line for all that. You know what I mean? So the over-encompassing question of this entire argument is it overconsumption? And I think to do that, we need to talk about what overconsumption is. The definition of overconsumption, according to Google, is the action or fact of consuming something to excess. Now, we need to figure out, what does excess mean? What does it mean to consume something to excess? Excess is an amount of something that is more than necessary, permitted, or desirable. Let's go through those three words. Necessary. Owning one labubu isn't necessary. So that already cuts it down. Having 5 labubus is the same as having 1 labubu. It's not necessary at all. You don't need a labubu to live. Permitted. This is interesting. Going back to the scalper argument, specifically the people who would like buy up everything in a vending machine, you are permitted to buy as many as you want. For some reason, Pop Mart hasn't set a limit, which is actively ruining their fan base, but digress. But socially, it's frowned upon. But those people don't care. They're just there to, resell. So there really is no limit to how many labubus you can have. There's no like all-encompassing limit no matter where you buy it from. You can only have 10 labubus, period. Like, that's not true. So there's no limit, so permitted doesn't make sense either. Desirable? The desirableness of something is subjective. Some people think it's desirable to have 50 labubus. Some people only think it's really necessary to have 1. So, but it's not necessary to have any of them. So people who collect labubus aren't over-consuming by definition. Now, you could make the argument for the environment. I have no doubt that people overbuying all these plastic boxes and these plastic figures and stuff and all this stuff that just is encased in plastic is ruining the environment. So you could take overconsumption in that angle, which is very, very valid. It reminds me of the Stanley Cup craze, which is another thing that is dying down. Remember when people were buying up Stanley Cups and it was literally like the Hunger Games in every Target across the world? People would have walls of Stanley Cups and people on TikTok would be like, that's overconsumption. You're overconsuming Stanley Cups. But nobody says that about people who collect dishware. Nobody says that about people who collect books. Nobody says that about people who collect video games. No one says that about people who collect Funko Pops or Pokemon or any trading cards. And typically these controversial hobbies are enjoyed by women. Now, I don't want to get into the misogyny argument, but hey, it's not shocking that this is the case, Guys can pull up with their 50 feet wide Pokemon binders and no one's going to say they're over-consuming. Or sports memorabilia. No one's going to be like, you're over-consuming sports memorabilia. But the second a girl has like 20 Stanley Cups Is it a little crazy that you have 20 cups of the same thing? Yeah, it's a little strange. It's a little weird. But you know, so is my collection of Funko Pops. So is my collection of DVDs. Like, that's a little weird. My collection of Funko Pops is no different from someone else's collection of Stanley Cups. It makes them happy. They enjoy it. I wouldn't say I'm over consuming. You know what I mean? If it makes you happy to collect something, if it makes you happy to buy something, just to, as a hobby, then just go ahead and do it, Many people will be like, oh, well, one labubu is enough. But they make them to collect. The point of collecting is to get more than one. You can't have a collection of one thing. My one Smisky isn't a collection. This is not my Smisky collection. This is a Smisky. When you have something that you're supposed to collect and then people collect it and have a shelf of it, you can't say overconsumption. That's not overconsumption. Labubus are made to be collected. Does it get a little crazy? Yes, absolutely. The lines for Stanley Cups were insane. The lines for Labubus are insane. Pokemon cards are insane. Like the lines for that, the scalping issues for that, it's all incredibly insane and needs to be solved. But what's so bad about something becoming popular? What's so bad about that? Disliking something simply because it's popular doesn't make sense to me. A prime example of this is Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is a juggernaut of music. But she has billions of fans. Billions of fans. And she has billions of haters. She's popular because she's relatable. She's fun to listen to. She's fun to engage with the fandom. It's a fun little community. But people hate on her. It's a primarily women hobby, so obviously that's going to warrant some hate. Like I said a million times in this video, I'm not a labubu fan. I don't like labubus. I think they're ugly. But if I see someone that has a labubu on their keychain, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? You have a labubu? Ew. Like, I'm not going to do that. Because at the end of the day, I have no reason to talk. I collect plushies, Funko Pops, Pokemon cards, fucking Smiskies. I don't have a reason to shame you for your plush keychain. Like, I just simply don't have a reason to. And that's the case for a lot of people who hate on anything. It's like, oh, you like Taylor Swift? And then they go listen to The Weeknd, which I'm not even going to get into The Weeknd. Or Chris Brown. Or Kanye. Oh, God. You are sucking the fun and whimsy out of the world. Leave people alone. Long story short. Is the current labubu craze overconsumption? By definition, no. The rate at which someone should consume something is subjective. Like I said, you could think that one labubu is enough. You could also think that people can have as many labubus as you want, like me. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The world is crash and burning. We're all gonna die. Let's have some fun while we're here.